Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Quarantine Canteen, as I've been calling it. We are now in week 5, 6, day, I don't really know yet, and it doesn't really matter at this point. So today we are going to be doing another unboxing. I received both my grocery box and my meal box for this week. So we'll open that up, see what's in it, and then we're just gonna do a quick dinner. And glad to see you guys here. Hello to Knifelex, Darth, Hack. I hope you all had a great day today. Today at work, it was a somewhat busy day. It like ebbs and flows when it comes to work for me. Some days it's busier, some days it's not. You know, we'll be back to some semblance of scheduling soon. That would be my dog. He's not begging for treats. I actually don't know what he's begging at. Bud, come here. There you go. Hey, Legend, what's up? Yes, so this is our imperfect food box. I've talked about these before. They take sort of produce and groceries that normally wouldn't go to the supermarket because there's too much or there's like a little smidge on them or something like that, and you get them at discounted prices. Again, I would like to also reiterate, this is not a sponsored stream. I am not being paid in any way whatsoever from Imperfect Foods and Home Chef in order to showcase these. So this is all my genuine opinion and advice when it comes to these types of meal kits and food. So we'll get started with this week's shipment. And then this week's shipment we have yellow squash. I believe last time that we did an unboxing we got the zucchini, which is like the green squash. So this time there's yellow squash that we can make something with. We got 2 of these Jasmine 90-second pouches. So my biggest advice for these are great if you're quick on the go. If you're looking for something to make into fried rice, you just legitimately can saute it up with some veggies, that kind of thing. These are great, and also for quick lunches. These are great. Highly suggest them. The other thing I suggest is if you have the time and a little bit of money, invest in one of those like $20 rice cookers and make rice, and you can make enough rice for the week in one of those things. And in a rice cooker it always comes out perfectly, never overcooked. Not being paid, get that sponsor. I would love to have a sponsorship. But you know, maybe we'll get there someday. We also have this week little cantaloupe. This is a tiny one. I'm pretty sure that it was in my box because of size, but this is kind of perfect, especially for a 2-person family right here. So this will definitely work out for us. Usually when I go to the supermarket, they're like huge, and if you want a couple pieces of cantaloupe and don't eat the whole thing in one go, one giant one is way too much. So, okay, so they sent a lot of squash this week, so we're gonna definitely have to do something with that. I don't know what the weather is like. It keeps changing every other day, so maybe we'll grill it, we'll bake it, that kind of thing. I also got some lettuce. So this is actually that's kind of neat. You can actually see where they pulled it out of the cabbage. You can see where they pulled it out of the ground. This is kind of cool. I was planning on putting together like a quick salad. So we'll be using this. This is definitely the perfect size because this will be gone in a day or two. And typically when I get bags of salad, it's like they go bad and they spoil so fast that it's really difficult to justify. It's kind of like throwing money in the trash. And then these are teeny tiny avocados because I like avocados, avocado toast, guacamole, any kind of thing. I'm into that. And then the last thing we have is linguine. I'm Italian, always gotta have the pasta in the house. Oh, F the cantaloupe. I thought you said F the cabbage. I mean, not everybody, I don't love cantaloupe either, but Steve likes it. So we got it so that we can have some fresh fruit in the house that isn't some kind of sweet, it's a sweet snack that isn't some kind of cookie or, you know, processed baked food. All right, and then this is the last thing we got, which is these are some Gulf shrimp. They're already peeled and deveined. They have the tail off, so we might see these a little later, depending on. Are these still frozen? Oh, these are okay. So these are still frozen. That sort of skews up my plan for the night, but we'll figure it out. All right, so that is it from our imperfect box. So I'm gonna get this out of the way, and we'll move to our Home Chef box, which might end up being what we make tonight. So here's our Home Chef box. As I've said before, these are great for people who are just getting into cooking or don't have a ton of time or don't really know much about what they're doing and they want to learn. The great thing about these meal kits is that, again, they come in perfect portion sizes, so you're not throwing money in the trash by getting a giant bottle of something that you don't know whether you're going to like or not. So the thing about these meal kits, and also I'll say this about the imperfect food box, is that due to the current situation with COVID and a lot of people staying home, being in home, there are shortages, there are delivery delays, there are that kind of thing. So you can order 2, 3, 4, whatever meals with these programs. Sometimes they get impacted because the demand is so high, or they just don't have the supply, or something gets delayed, or the product isn't coming in at the same point in which they thought it would. So this week I ordered 2 meals, but due to the situation I only got 1. So we'll talk about the one that I did get. Linguine is your favorite. It's a good pasta. So this is what we got this week, which is this is a chili lime salmon. And doesn't Tiberius like the fruits? I mean, he is a fruit. If that means anything, he is a fruit, so he'll eat. Tiberius is really picky when it comes to food. He actually likes Brussels sprouts. Yes, bud? What? He's trying to talk to me. There's probably something he's trying to tell me and I'm not understanding. I love dogs. So this is our chili lime salmon. It has Chayote Squash, and I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong. This squash is really interesting. I'm going to pull it out for a second and show everyone. So this is a Chayote Squash. It's similar to a texture of an onion, but it tastes kind of like a radish and a potato. So I never really experimented or knew much about these until I actually went through and got them in several of my Home Chef orders. And they're not my favorite thing in the world, but if they come in one of these orders and they tell you how to prepare it, listen to them, because that's the only way it'll taste right. So that is in the produce part of that. And then we got our trying to pull this out here. Then we got our salmon, little salmon fillets. This is rather larger than what they typically give me. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for our Home Chef box. So I'll get that out of the way. right, so I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator. Obviously, that's where you're supposed to go with produce and meats when you first get them. So let me just throw that in there real quick. Enter code WoofWoofTiberius for 5% your first order with Home Chef. Hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored. 100% would not argue against any kind of code. I actually do have % off for, I think I have some for Home Chef, and I probably have some for HelloFresh, and there is a referral program for Imperfect Foods, so if you want to try any of that, send me a DM, and I can see if I can get you any kind of discount. It wouldn't be a sponsored discount or anything, but I'm all for helping people out, especially now, because money is tight for everyone. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at these real quick. While I'm unwrapping these, I do have a few stream/life related announcements. What? Okay. These are thawed-ish. Okay, that's fine. So I do have some stream/life related announcements. The first of which is that Super is actually being recalled back to work, which is really great, but it also means that I may be doing some streams without him. You won't see him featured as much, so it might be just one person meals instead of two. So that's the first one. And the second one is that thanks to an anonymous benefactor, I will actually be getting the arm mount that I have been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks. The only other detail to that I will tell you is that it isn't my husband that bought me one, because, you know, it would be fairly obvious. He has gifted subs in the stream before, but it isn't. So I just, again, wanted to say that the sub money, any donations, bits, that kind of thing, while yes, some of it goes to pay the bills, it also goes back into the stream to try and make things better for you guys, whether it be, you know, better ingredients, camera accessories, pots and pans, knives, that kind of thing. That is sort of what that money goes towards in terms of revenue. So I know you guys are really here for the dogs, so yes, if you want to donate dog treats, go ahead. I will gladly take dog treats or toys and show them off on stream while I just cook something in the background. Whatever you guys want. I'm here for you guys, even though I really like the cooking portion of the stream, so I'm going to enjoy that part of it. So what I was thinking of making, and I'm gonna try and get these defrosted a little bit more, is like a sort of like a shrimp linguine type dish. So if you are, these are par frozen, they came in frozen, but if you are working with stuff and you need it to defrost a little more quickly than overnight in the fridge, my suggestion, and again, this is not like, don't go and do this at a restaurant because I'm pretty sure this isn't good etiquette, but my main suggestion is to take whatever meat you have and put it in pretty much cool water for about an hour or two, and that'll help thaw it a little bit more so it'll be at the right temperature. So when your friend asks, why do Home Chef Blue Apron whatever instead of just going to the grocery store, what's your response? Oh, you don't know anybody who uses these in real life, so you're genuinely good. So there's a few reasons. The first of which is I hate going out and going grocery shopping, especially right now. So this avoids me having to go out and go grocery shopping every weekend. It also has set meals that I can schedule into my work week and Steve's work week, that we know exactly what we're having for dinner that day. We don't have to, what do you want for this? No, I'm not in the mood for that. I want this. Like, it ends that circle of questioning. And one of the main reasons is that we are a family of 2. So if you're looking at ingredients, especially nowadays, they give you these giant, like, you'll go to the grocery store, and I ordered a lot this week, but like the pack of squash will be this much, and that's a family of 4, and we don't need that much food. So this gives you the ability to get those ingredients in the small sizes that you're not wasting, and it's not going bad week to week. That's one of the main reasons that I do it, is that it gives you the small ingredients, and when I was living in PA, harder to find, that I could use and cook with, and that wouldn't spoil, thus me throwing money into the trash. So that's the main reason why I did that. Right now it's for the convenience of not heading to the grocery store and getting sick, and everybody else seems to agree with me, because we've had a lot of, hey, switch your meal to this, switch your meal to this, like that kind of thing, and that's been happening increasingly as the quarantine has sort of lengthened. All right, so back to the dinner. I'm actually going to use some of the shrimp that I got from Imperfect Foods. They're already kind of cut up and diced in pieces, so that's fine. And our linguine. So 2 Imperfect Foods things. I actually have some lemons from last week, I think it is. We're gonna get to those too. So the first and most important part is to get your pasta water boiling. I should have probably done this before setting things to defrost, but that's okay. So we'll get that started. We're working on our defrosting shrimp. They're pretty much almost done. These are actually conveniently almost all in pieces too, so I don't have to break up anything. They come peeled and deveined and tail off. So again, not another step. It's one of the things that I dislike most about shrimp and seafood and that kind of stuff, is that a lot of it has very hard to take off shells. So, all right, so that's pretty much almost done. I'll put the spaghetti over here to wait, and then we're gonna do very, very, very simple sauce with this, and it's mainly going to be lemon, parsley, garlic and butter, and salt and pepper. So very, very simple. Love light sauces, especially when it comes to seafood. I'm not a huge, like, unless it's like the middle of winter, I'm not a huge like ragu or meat sauce or anything fan. So we'll go with that. All right, let me grab my butter. So, butter and garlic, and then lemon juice. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab some pan from my now clean dishwasher, and we're going to get that started on medium heat. So here's the thing about cooking seafood, is that it's dangerously easy to overcook. And I've done it, and it tastes rubbery and it tastes gross, so I wouldn't suggest overcooking your seafood. we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, and we're also gonna add butter. So this is not a health conscious dish whatsoever. Please don't expect it to be. It's stressful times, you eat comfort food. Put a big old wad of butter in there, let that start to melt. And I'm going to pull down 2 strainers, one for my shrimp and one for the spaghetti. I wouldn't recommend putting them both in the same strainer. It would probably, I don't think that would go well. And again, slightly short. So when it comes to shrimp and seafood, I am mostly a purist. So very few extra herbs and spices, kind of just letting the seafood do its thing, unless it's like a fish usually need a little bit more seasoning, but especially shrimp and all that kind of stuff. Shrimp and crabs, don't. If you are not a seafood fan, which happens and is completely okay, even though I hope you don't travel to Maryland because you'll be made fun of. You can do this type of dish with chicken and it's absolutely fine. It would taste probably really good with like a seared chicken cutlet or a breaded chicken cutlet as well. So 100% would also recommend chicken with this as well. So remember that technique I showed you with the limes and the blood oranges? We're gonna do the same thing with the lemons, and we'll just roll them really quickly. What this does is it'll allow the juices to sort of loosen up so that we can get more juice out of the lemon when it's done. All right, so our butter is pretty much melted. I'm gonna throw these shrimp in here. So like I said, shrimp are really easy to overcook, so you have to make sure that you're sort of keeping an eye on them. So you might see me turn around quite a few times. This is gonna be a really, really, really simple shrimp, butter, garlic, salt, pepper. So you all know how I love my garlic. If I ever get another emote, that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like a jar, like a bulb of garlic. I'm pretty sure there hasn't been an episode yet where I haven't used garlic. And then we're just gonna throw a little bit of ground black pepper. And just to spice it up a little bit, and again, completely optional, crushed red pepper. That is a good question, Legend. How is everyone doing today? I know I talked a little bit about my work day, but you guys are experiencing life a little bit differently in quarantine too. One day blends into the next, for better or for worse. I 100% agree with you, Hack. I consider myself extremely lucky that I have a job and a roof over my head and a way to afford food and bills right now. You've done, I mean, you've been streaming a lot, Legends, so that's a good thing. I saw you were on, you were playing the OG Destiny, which is actually the only one that I've played. Days are just days anymore. Yeah, I feel like the world is in, like, part of the world is in like this I don't want to take it a little bit morbid, but this like shared depression, but nobody wants to talk about it. Like nobody wants to talk about how like everybody's pretty much not in the same boat, but they're all struggling mentally. Everybody is affected by this. This isn't something that is like, you know, la-di-da-di-da. Like this isn't like a normal happy-go-lucky type situation. And some people, I'll be honest, some people have it worse and some people have it much better. I mean, obviously it's easier to quarantine yourself in a $12 million mansion than it would be if you're homeless on the street or if you're in a studio apartment, you know, that living situation. This is not an easy thing. And the one thing I do have to say is that the most important thing is to reach out for help and to say that you're feeling something, because the hardest thing is that you're not alone. And you should not, you know, feel like you need to be, like, feel alone. Alright. So our shrimp are almost done. Let me grab this. So this arm that's coming this week is going to be super helpful when it comes to this kind of thing, because I won't have to reset up this camera 85 times. So that's for, yeah. So our shrimp is pretty cooking, and then our water has actually just come to a boil, so we're going to add our pasta to that. We're all in the same ocean, but people just have different sized boats, and some don't even have a boat. Exactly. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this water. If you are on a sodium restricted diet, don't. Again, a lot of this is all personal taste. A lot of what cooking is taste. When it comes to baking, that's a little more exact. Follow the rules, follow the recipe. Regular cooking at home doesn't have to be so restricted. All right, let me throw this linguine in here real quick, and then I'm going to get to that. Thank you for the follow. This is not the right tool. Okay. Scratch that, we're using this. So, as you can tell, I don't typically cook with the linguine as it's like coming out a lot out of the pot, but that's fine. I think it's one of the best pastas to go with like a seafood type thing. Much better, a little starch here. Alright. And then, what is this? Oh, cool. This doesn't have a, Alright, so, normally boxes of pasta will tell you what is on, like how many minutes to cook. This does not have one of those. So, we're going to wing it and put in a timer for 8 minutes. Also, thank you for following Star Fox. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Quarantine Canteen. We are in the middle of making a shrimp linguine dish. So I'm actually going to take out the shrimp here to make the rest of the sauce. That way it's not, that way my shrimp isn't overcooked or anything like that. So what we're gonna do is add just a tad bit more butter. Right now I have this on low so that nothing kind of burns. And then I'm gonna grab an onion real quick. So this is literally, again, you see me reuse ingredients over and over again. I try and save everything that I'm using from previous things that I make to make other things. This is just an onion that I didn't use all of when I was making pierogies last night, and here we are, and now we have onion for just a little bit of added depth and flavor to this sauce. This isn't a super complicated, you know, super intense sauce. Now the second thing I'm also going to do after I add this onion is take some of the pasta water. I'll explain why in a minute. So we got our onions here, all chopped. And we're just gonna add those into our butter and garlic mixture. And I'm probably gonna add a little bit more garlic because you know me, can't have anything without the delicious taste of garlic. I know, like, in any kind of situation where I'd be in contact with a vampire, they'd never want to talk to me ever. So, right, so we got, bringing my camera over here. So the onions and garlic are starting to sweat, and then in that other pot over there, that's our linguine. So I'm going to grab some of the pasta water from our cooking linguine. One, it's always good to use ingredients in other parts of the recipe. It ties things together, but it's pasta water, so why would you want to do that? So when pasta cooks, it gives off starches, and the starches can help thicken sauces. So you'll see it in certain recipes where there is, you know, the liquid that you were cooking something in is used for flavor, and then you'll see it's used for a thickener as well. And then I'm going to finish juicing these lemons. Bring this camera down here so you can actually watch the rolling process. Can I tilt this down? Yeah, I can. All right, cool. Still learning new things about this camera. All right, so we took our lemon, we rolled it. We still have pieces of lemons. So this is that juicing thing I was talking about earlier. It's super convenient because you can see it catches those seeds that you don't want in your food if you're using lemon juice. It's a really great thing. The other thing I've been doing a lot with this pandemic, when I'm not cooking, because I do cook most of my meals or, you know, heat them up somehow, is ordering local from DoorDash and trying some new things. So we ordered from this local restaurant in our, I guess it's our neighborhood-ish, called Umami. And they have this, it's kind of like Mediterranean, Middle Eastern type food. And it was really delicious. So if I would recommend looking at Yelp or DoorDash reviews and checking out what they have in terms of options in your local restaurants to try and keep supporting them, since a lot of them can't actually operate the same way during quarantine. So, what are we doing with this lemon juice? So we are going to add this lemon juice to our sweating onions and garlic. So this will give like a bright lemony flavor. And then our pasta water will help thicken it up a little bit. I only added a little more than I actually need. This way some of it, you know, it kind of burns off. And then I'm going to grab some parsley, because that's what ties everything together, and sort of like a fresh herb. So give me 1 minute. Alright, so here's our fresh parsley. This is straight from our backyard garden. You've probably seen me use it on multiple occasions now. And I absolutely highly recommend, if you have the time and energy for it, getting and making your own herbs. Alright, so that is our pasta. We're going to taste the results of our winging it timer here before I, alright, I actually have to figure out how to get a piece first. Okay, there you go. So, that was cooked to perfection, so I apparently was really good at guesstimating. We're going to take this out and strain it, and we're not going to rinse it. Rinsing it would take all the starches out and prevent any kind of thickening of sauces, which is what we sort of want to happen. And there's our pasta all done. Now our sauce is coming along really well. I'm going to chop this parsley. Here, let me move this pasta twisting out of the way. Alright, so yeah, these are our flat leaf parsley leaves. I accidentally confused this for cilantro one time. It's definitely something that can happen, or something that you can do. I recognize all of the spices now, so that's great, but apparently everybody's flipping out over what Ron Gronkowski does. I don't follow football, so I don't really know much about if this move was a good deal or not for him. Alright, then we are going to take that. and put it straight into our sauce. Well, the majority of it will go into our sauce. We're going to save a small portion of it for garnish, because we like when plates look pretty. Then we're going to add a little bit more of our pasta water and the last portion of butter. I told you this wasn't like a healthy thing. You found out. It is sample noodles here. I'll show you what those sample noodles are for. And Rob, the only reason why I know anything about Brady's moves is because he's technically a UA sponsored athlete. So we find out, like, that's a big deal, I guess. All right. So let's bring this here for a second. Come here, bud. Come here. Here's where our tasty noodles are really gonna go. Because Tiberius always has to have his moment in the spotlight, so he gets some noodles. So yes, here's our friend Tiberius. If you are a sub, feel free to spam that Tiberius emote in the chat. He is getting his treats for the stream. Oh, this is a small one, sorry bud. But yes, he likes noodles. And there you have it, doggo with noodles. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I gotta get this pasta in here. Here's our pasta. I'm just going to grab most of it. Yeah, I'm gonna grab most of it. I'm not gonna put everything in here. And then I'm basically just going to toss until it gets coated. And then we're just going to, wow, it's like really dark. I just noticed that. I guess it's because the lighting is coming from behind, so my camera's trying to compensate for it. So I'll pan you over here so you can see the cooking pan a little bit better. We're just gonna add the rest of our fresh lemon juice to that. So here is our completed pan, and we are legitimately just going to plate that up with the shrimp, and that's going to be our easy, seafood shrimp and lemon sauce dinner. So I am actually going to go get that plated up, and we'll have dinner now. But thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the... Thank you for the bits, Knifeflex! Get that doggo some sausages. Yes, the sausages taste like sausages. I guess we should have like Treato time on the stream, because every time he gets some treats. Thank you so much, Knifeflex. I'm always speechless when people like gift subs or bits or money or any of that kind, because it's like I'm not used to that kind of stuff, so it means a lot more than you probably know. And I appreciate, lurking. I appreciate donations. I appreciate pretty much anybody who tunes in, because who wants to watch a socially awkward streamer make food? But you guys obviously do. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Is that hand sanitizer? That's hand sanitizer, isn't it? We're gonna throw some spices at you in the chat. I'm gonna go take care of this dinner before it gets cold, or before Tiberius gets hungry and eats it, decides he's gonna start climbing onto the stove. But thank you again. You have no idea how much this means to me, and I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you next time on the Quarantine Canteen.